How is it that you actually get onto local radio? Hi guys, my name's Deepak Shukla, founder at Pearl M PR. We're a public relations agency based in the UK, USA, as well as Uganda, and we're serving clients worldwide. And here today, in day number 23 or 39 days of public relations training, we're here to talk about how is it that you actually get onto local radio. But before we get into it, feel free to click the link in the description below to get access to 11 additional strategies that are not shared in this training. So look, fundamentally, I've appeared on local radio multiple times, um, and as well as local newspapers, and it's been for all kinds of different things. So first of all, and this is probably part that's important, subscribe or buy or view, however it works, your actual, local radio. I say local radio, I'm talking about obviously radio and news here. We'll come to talk about press in a little bit, but fundamentally, then the one that you care about is listen. Well, no, listen and so listen and read up and even watch your local radio. So I'm going to explain what I mean by all of these. So when it comes to listening, that's pretty self-evident. Like get a sense of the kinds of stories that come onto the station, get a sense of the kind of shows, and get a sense of who the producers are. So you've got the stories, you've got the shows, and you've got the producers. Okay, so you need to have a sense of all of these, and you could read by going to the website and then getting a sense of the roster. So then you'd between the roster and knowing which shows seem like they're the most relevant. And not all local radio is going to have rosters, but some of them will. So by basing it around the roster in terms of what's available, as well as then looking at the shows that seem to stand out, you could then identify the producers and then look at the stories. And as you listen and get a sense of some of them, you'll begin to get a flavor of what is it that could work for yourself when it comes to appearing. So, of course, local radio is local interest. So it's wherever you're living now and it's wherever you've lived. I mean, you ideally need to be a resident there, but I mean, I go visit my parents once a week, so I could happily get some content produced at the local radio station relevant to them in West London. So you could if you move between a couple of places, then if you've got a vacation place that you go very often, or you're fat, there's different angles with this, but these are the elements that I think you need to consider when it comes to getting onto local radio. And then, much like you do it when it comes to pitching, the kinds of stuff that are important are, stuff that's newsworthy. So that would be founding a new business, contributing to charity, although maybe perhaps less so unless it's unusual, doing some kind of event that's noteworthy, whether it's for charity, as an example, setting up, like a new local office, supporting a local initiative. So there are some ideas. So supporting a local initiative is looking at things that are of common local public interest and then deciding to get involved, because that will help you find your way into or onto local radio, and then just doing something that's out of the unusual. So I remember that I ran from, I think, Uxbridge Station to Buckingham Palace, which was just a cool thing to say, and that helped me get onto Sunrise Radio, which was a national radio station but based locally. So that was one, and then also doing some stuff out in when I was training for a marathon out in South America. That helped also. So I came onto that. That got me onto the local radio station, and then I ended up on the BBC, and then I became an expert speaker. And it all started with local radio features. So there's definitely a route to go from local to national, and then becoming something of an expert speaker. But it does definitely begin locally. So they are some ideas of how you could get onto local radio, and of course we've spoken about how to produce an eye-catching email, how you need to approach people, building an expert bio, and then of course it's really about thinking about the story. But I've given you some ideas when it relates, and then also reading or listening rather to what's actually happening will give you further ideas as to, well, I could talk about that, or I could talk about something similar to that. So those would be the ways to help yourself get onto local radio.